Breaking news.
Jordan Robinson
has donated a coffee. Thank you, sir, for your donation. If you too want to be based like my man here, you can donate to me through the link in the description. It earns you my gratitude and a permanent spot on the outro, and also helps me towards my goal of getting the fuck out of this shithole of a country. Thanks in advance, and now, back to the shit show.
Hi, I'm sick. My left nostril is on fire and the right one is clogged, which makes putting on the mask not very fun. So I'm doing this in audio form over a still photo of my beautiful face. Thanks for understanding. So just a couple days ago on June 8th, a Russian tourist was eaten by sharks in Hurghada, Egypt. A Russian got attacked by a shark in Hurghada city where he died on the beach of Dream Beach Hotel. The deceased has been identified as Vladimir Bobov, age 23, who was living in Egypt with his father. The shark attacked him and was then captured by locals. The Ministry of External Affairs has confirmed that the deceased was born in 1999. The tragedy was captured on video too, but I'm not gonna show that, obviously, since this is YouTube, and also due to the fact that it's kinda disturbing. But I will link the tweet downstairs in case you really wanna see it. Anyway, as sad as this is, it's not really something new. These attacks have been happening on and off for over a decade now. What is more disturbing, in my opinion, is how Egyptians responded to this. It says in that news tweet that the shark was captured. Well, that was not all of it. The shark was captured and thrown on the ground out of water and beaten to death by locals. And that is also on video, and I am going to show it. If you don't want to see it, understandably, skip to the timestamp on the screen now. Naturally, the government came out to talk about this. Muhammad Salim, the chief of nature preservation sector of the Ministry of Environment, said, Egypt is the only country in the world that prohibits hunting sharks. But what was done by some locals, hunting the fish that caused the Russian tourists incident, is intuitive, as the life of a citizen is more valuable than that of a shark. First things first, ain't no fucking way Egypt is the only country that bans it. There's just no world where that's the case. I don't even need to look it up. Second of all, the fact that the Chief of Environment Preservation is justifying and approving such an act by the people makes me question the validity of that entire sector of the ministry. Also, someone responded to that news piece calling him out. Egypt is one of 22 countries that ban shark hunting, not the only one in the world, and unfortunately, despite the legislation being made to ban shark hunting and selling them in 2005, the law is unapplied and sharks get hunted commercially in Egypt and sold in fish markets. The merchants even make videos to market them on social media without any regulation or repercussions. I have also seen this myself on a trip as a kid, pre-2011, meaning this has always been the case, for the most part. Also, I'm not gonna even bother fact-checking the number of countries. The confirmation that Egypt isn't the only country to do so is good enough for me. I don't care about the exact number when it's such an intuitively obvious lie. This GigaChad even posted one such video of the merchants showcasing a shark. In the video, showing the shark getting beaten, you can hear someone saying this is the one that ate the guests. That's how low we've gone. We're taking personal grudges and revenge on animals now. The case went somewhat viral internationally, but not because of the incident itself, but because of this. Now, if you have a certain level of experience with Egypt, you know animal cruelty is pretty common here and casual even. I can't count the number of times I've seen a little shit kid chuck a rock at a stray cat or dog. Donkeys and mule also get their fair share of abuse and intense labor. And that is not to mention the fucking camel market in Giza and the horrors it holds, a glimpse of which has been shown in a previous video. I guess it's sea animals' turn now. Anyway, here's a tweet that just about sums up my opinion about the whole thing, to spare you my salty ramblings. Are you aware that you kicked it out of its home and then tortured it until it died, and the Russian tourist that's in its stomach? Did it bring him back? Did you save him? Have you avenged him with this? The animal is not to blame. It really never is, since it is a fucking animal. It's on us, supposedly intelligent species, to avoid it somehow. And the guy who died was technically in the shark's home too. The fact they are taking personal issue with an animal, incapable of thinking and acting off instinct, is just astonishing. I think the footage of hunting and killing the shark caused immense disturbance in other countries, more than the scenes of the tourist getting eaten. The incident is tragic and painful, but it is likely. The way the shark was hunted and killed among cheers for revenge is not accepted by the civilized world that has come to reject the destruction of environment, but it is acceptable for us. As to why these attacks happen, I've seen many theories. Here's an interesting one I found. Oh, and by the way, this is Mubarak's son. Y'all remember Mubarak, the former president who stepped down in 2011? Yeah, the good old days when we had uprisals. Shark attack incidents have been recurring in the waters of the Red Sea over the past years. The latest of which is today's tragic incident in Hurghada, where a shark attacked a Russian tourist, which killed him instantly. I used to practice diving since the year 1987 and have observed sharks multiple times during my dives, which seldom attack divers. But the danger begins when you swim at the water surface. And among the reasons of these attacks, which we have discussed long ago, is that people feed these fish or throw food in the water to attract them, which changes the shark's behavior. Also, the increase in temperatures and climate change has an effect on their behavior. And I think the most important reason is open fishing, which is left unregulated as it reduces the fish population, so sharks head closer to beaches looking for food. And by the way, the solution is not to cheer and celebrate the killing of the shark that caused the incident, since the sea is full of sharks. The general advice for swimming in Red Sea would be to do it somewhere where you have reach, so that in case something happens, you can get out of the water. God protect us all. If you're confused why people would drop food in the water, is to attract them to show tourists on boats. There are also these boats where they have see-through bottoms as well, kinda like a submarine when you're on the lower deck. I've been on one personally before. I've personally known people who work on tourism who do or have done this as well. It's legit. There's also an interesting point brought up on the discussion on our last tweet. The strange thing is that last year's attack was on 2nd of July 2022, 6 days before Eid al-Adha. That's the big Muslim feast with sheep sacrifices. And this year, 8th of July 2023, 20 days before the feast. Does this indicate a connection to the ships that pass loaded with sheep from Sudan to Saudi Arabia that throw the dead sheep in the Red Sea's water? And the response came confirming years ago in 2008 a shark attack happened in Sharm el-Sheikh, and indeed foreign experts were called upon to have studied the causes of recurring attacks in this period, and the meeting was held in Sharm, and they did conclude that some ships threw dead sheep in the sea, some of which drifted near the shore, and that was one of the main causes for the shark attacks. So somehow this ended up being partially connected to Islam. I swear almost anything that happens here can be traced back to it. And I never liked that feast anyway, even when I was a believer. It just feels grim and messy. So that's more reason to hate it now. And there's this old tweet from 2020 showing that indeed hunting is unregulated. There are violations regularly, which he observes through his presence out on the waters. Finally, there is an eyewitness account by an Egyptian actress who was allegedly there, Heidy Karam, where she goes into details of it and explains why the response of the people is wrong. I'm not gonna show it, it's too long, but I will link it downstairs as well. And that's a wrap. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, and most importantly, take care, homies.